do whatever feels comfortable for you. But there will be different shoulder variations today. So again, just don't use the weights or whatever works for you. All right, probably just repeated myself. So starting at the top of our mat here, let's wake up first, find some rest, and then we'll flow just like we did last time to warm up. So finding our mountain pose here, we can rock back and forth, whatever feels good. Maybe roll our shoulders a couple times, especially if we've been up moving around. Just wiggle anything out that you need to. Beautiful. And then maybe we soften our eyes or soften our gaze or close our eyes for a few breaths here. And maybe we start with that nice cleansing breath, really getting rid of all the stagnant energy here. So inhaling through the nose, filling up all the spaces in our body. And really exhale, pushing everything out, just letting it go. One more time, a nice big inhale. And then exhaling, letting everything go. And just starting to become heavy on your feet here while we're rising up to the sky through the crown of the head. Spine is nice and tall. Maybe noticing our shoulders over hips, hips over our ankles here. And just finding your breath for a few moments. Centering in, grounding. Really feeling strong and rooted in this mountain pose. Starting to let go of our to-do lists and anything we have to do after we leave the mat today, and just finding the next 45 minutes for you. Beautiful. And in our next few breaths, we can slowly start to wake up. Maybe we wiggle our fingers and our toes. We can slowly bat our eyes open, letting in that sunshine. Beautiful. And taking a couple sun breaths to start here. Inhaling nice and slow up to the sky. And exhaling back through heart center. Beautiful. Inhaling up. And exhaling heart center. Opening up our shoulders here, inhaling up to the sky. Exhaling into that cactus baby back bend here, really squeezing our shoulder blades together, heart shine forward. Exhaling back up. Finding our mountain pose. Beautiful. We're going to inhale up to the sky. And as we exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Really being heavy here, knees nice and bent, torso rooted on our thighs, head is nice and heavy. Maybe we shake our head yes, and then no, and yes again, releasing any tension in our neck here. We're gonna inhale, halfway lift, flat back, hands on shins or thighs. Exhale, bending our knees, forward fold. Reaching our hands out in front of us just a little bit, cupping our fingertips, and we're just gonna pedal that out. So we're gonna lift one heel and then the other, alternating side to side here, really letting our hamstrings start to elongate, stretch them out. Beautiful. And then when you've felt good with that, we can just let that go, release back into our forward fold. Rooting down through our feet, rising up to the sky. And exhaling, mountain. Inhaling up. Exhale, swan dive. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold, planting our hands, reaching our left foot to the back of the mat, lowering that knee, rising up, low lunge, opening up our hip flexor. Exhale, folding forward, left hand planted, opening up to the right. Beautiful, circling that right arm around, right knee meets left, finding that child's pose. Beautiful, inhaling, rolling forward like a wave to our kneeling plank, shoulders over wrists, belly button into spine, and we're gonna find 4 of those tricep push-ups. If that's not available for you today, just hold your plank. Beautiful. Inhaling, exhale, elbows into ribs, lowering halfway, pressing all the way up. 3, 2, last one. Beautiful. This one, we're gonna roll all the way down to the mat, to our bellies, rooting in, inhaling up into that baby cobra or cobra. Exhale, lower. Pressing up and back, finding our child's pose. Inhaling forward to our tabletop. We're gonna tuck our toes, lift our hips up and back, finding that first downward facing dog this morning. Once again, settling in here, finding any movement that you need. Spine nice and tall. Maybe we pedal it out, rock our hips. Beautiful. Finding stillness just for a breath. And then as we exhale, making our way to the top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, rooting down, rising up. Exhaling. Mountain. Beautiful. Inhaling up. Swan dive, forward fold. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold, planting, reaching the right foot back this time, lowering that knee, rising up, low lunge. Folding forward, right wrist down this time, twisting to the left. Left arm around, left knee meets right, child's pose. Inhaling forward to that kneeling plank. Once more, finding 4 more push-ups or just holding your plank. Inhaling here, exhale, lowering halfway, elbows into ribs, pressing back up. Really getting ready for tank top season here. 2, last one. Beautiful, then lowering that all the way down, inhaling up, cobra, baby cobra, exhale, lower. Pressing up through tabletop, tucking the toes, lifting the hips, up and back, downward facing dog. Bending our knees and walking our feet to the top of the mat, forward fold. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold, rooting down, rising up. Exhaling, mountain. Beautiful, finding mountain just for a breath. I'm gonna grab a sip of water. Making sure our weights are accessible at the front of our mat here. We don't need to grab them just yet. But we are gonna find another just quick flow with the weights before we start actually exercising with them. So we're gonna inhale up to the sky. Exhale, swan dive. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold, planting our hands, reaching the left foot back high on the ball mound, or we can lower that knee. If it's available, we're gonna grab our weights, rise up to our crescent lunge, hands at heart center, or we can reach our arms up to the sky. Beautiful, bringing our hands back to heart center if they're lifted, opening up, finding warrior 2, palms facing out, this time elbows bent. Left hand by our left hip, right arm extending up, exalting our warrior. Beautiful, bringing our hands to heart center, pivoting that left foot. We're gonna hinge forward, letting go of the weights, planting our hands, right foot meets left, downward facing dog. Inhaling forward like a wave to our plank or kneeling plank, lowering halfway or all the way to the mat, upward facing dog or cobra. Back to downward facing dog. Bending our knees, making our way to the top of the mat, forward fold, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, rooting down, rising up. Exhaling, mountain. Inhaling up. Swan dive, forward fold, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, planting our hands, right foot back this time. Again, if it's available, we're gonna grab our weights, rising up safely through heart center, crescent lunge, or we can reach up to the sky just for a breath. Beautiful, if our arms are raised, bring them back to heart center, pivoting that right foot, opening up, warrior 2, elbows bent. Right hand by our right hip, left arm extending up. Beautiful, bringing our hands back through heart center, pivoting that right foot, hinging forward, releasing the weights, planting our hands, left knee meets, or left foot meets right. Downward facing dog. Inhaling forward once more to that plank or kneeling plank. Lowering halfway or all the way to the mat. Upward facing dog or cobra. Back to downward facing dog. Again, you can pedal this out for a breath or two if you need to. And then we're going to lower our knees to the mat. And we're going to find a little bit of a plank series. So we're going to find forearm plank. So we're going to bring our elbows to the mat. And our elbows should be underneath our shoulders here. So interlacing our fingers, tucking the pinky fingers underneath here, and then extending our legs to the back. Hips are in line with our shoulders. We can also lower our knees, just like in regular plank. So we're gonna hold this plank, either knees on the mat or raised, really pressing our forearms away from the mat, really pulling our shoulder blades away from each other. And we're gonna do hip dips. We're gonna drop the right hip down, and then the left, right, left. Beautiful. For 8 more each side. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one on either side. We're going to hold this forearm plank, and then we're going to walk our feet in, finding dolphin. So forehead reaches down towards the mat, but not fully on the mat. Almost like a downward facing dog with our forearms, really pressing our forearms away from the mat again, strengthening our shoulders here, holding just for a few more breaths. And then we're going to lower our knees to the mat. We can untuck our toes, sit back on our heels, find a child's pose for our breath. Beautiful. Inhaling forward, planting our hands, fingertips spread nice and wide. Tucking our toes, lifting our hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Bending our knees, walking our feet to the top of the mat. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold, rooting down, rising up to the sky. And exhaling, mountain. Beautiful. You can grab a sip of water if you need to. Beautiful. So we're going to bend our knees and grab our weights safely. If you'd like to use your weights, if not, that's okay too. Beautiful. So we're going to have a couple different options, just in case you can't reach or it's not comfortable reaching your arms up over your head. We're going to find a bit wider squat to start. We're going to find an overhead press with it. Palms together, thumbs close to our shoulders here. This is a front rack. So you can keep your weights here if that's available, or at heart center if that's better for you. So we're going to drop down into a deep squat. And then as we rise up, squeeze our glutes together, reaching up to the sky. Beautiful. We're going to do 10 of these. So lowering down, squeezing our glutes, overhead press. Beautiful. 9. Again, you don't have to lift the weights up over your head. You can keep them stacked, or they can stay at heart center. Really squeezing the glutes at the top. 6 more. Making sure our knees are behind our toes. 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one. Beautiful. Then we can bring our hands back to heart center. We're going to find our chair pose at the front of the mat. Feet can be a little bit closer together. Toes can touch, or maybe they're just hip distance apart, whatever. Again, anything that feels comfortable for you. Every body is different. So hands starting at heart center. Inhale, create length. Exhale, lowering into that little baby chair. Knees behind our toes. Belly button really pulled tight into our spine. Beautiful. We're going to find some chair pulses for 12. Pulsing that tailbone down. 10. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one, we're going to hold it down here. We're going to tap our toe left and then right. Staying in that squat here. 8 more each side. 6, 5, 4, we're gonna hold that chair still if we can. If you need to rise up and come back down, that's okay too. We're gonna find those tricep extensions. So elbows beside our ribs, palms facing in here. We're gonna extend our arms and bend for 12, 11. We're increasing our reps this week. So just go at your pace and wherever it takes you. 5, 4, really squeezing our elbows to the sky. 2, last one, beautiful, hands at heart center. We can rise up out of that, we can shake that out. Beautiful. Rooting into our right foot, lifting the left knee towards our chest, hinging back, really extending that left foot back high on the ball mount here. Now again, you can drop your weights for this, or you can keep them. We're gonna do a little bit of a different variation on our lunge this week. So this week, we're gonna lunge down, step forward. You don't even have to step forward if that's not available. You can find your lunge, or you can hold crescent lunge and just step forward and back. Again, weights are completely optional. So finding whichever variation works for you today. We're gonna go for 10. So 10, really rooting into that right foot. Really working our right glute as we're working the left quad here. Kind of working the whole body at the same time. Let's go for 5 more because I lost count. 4, 3, 2, last one. Beautiful. Reaching that foot back again in our high crescent lunge. We're gonna hinge forward, palms facing to the back of the mat. And we're gonna find a wide row. So bending our elbows, bringing our elbows in line with our shoulders and hinging forward for 12, 11, 10, squeezing those shoulder blades together at the top. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Beautiful, hands to heart center. Reaching that left foot behind, finding the lovely curtsy lunge here. Again, hips square to the front of the mat, dropping our weights at any time. If this is too much for you, again, you can find a squat or just a regular lunge. Inhaling here, exhale, lowering that left knee. Beautiful, rising back up for 9. Woo, 8, I'm a little wobbly. 7, 6, really rooting into the right leg, which is not what I was doing. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. And then we're gonna hold that curtsy lunge down and pulse it down for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful, rise up, left foot meets right. We can shake that out. Finding 2 more exercises on that right glute and the right leg before we move to the other side. Beautiful. Once again, rooting into the right foot. We're gonna reach the left leg behind us just a little bit here. Hinging forward. We can reach our arms just forward, kind of a counterbalance. Now you're gonna have a couple different options here. Hips stay square, so make sure we're not opening up with our hips at all. We're just gonna lift that left leg up just a tiny bit, making sure that it's the glute that's moving it, not the hip opening up. Your options are to hold the weights here as a counterbalance, or you can find a row with it, whatever works best for you. Beautiful, finding 10. Moving nice and slow, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful, leaving those toes with behind you, hands start at heart center. Again, a couple different options here. We're gonna find a warrior 3 deadlift. Again, your toes can stay on the mat. You can just reach forward, keeping that right leg extended, really reaching the hips to the back of the mat. Spine is nice and tall. Or we can lift that left leg off the mat. Again, hips square to the mat, spine nice and tall. Just gonna find 8 of those. So whichever variation, here we go. 8, Again, the weights are just used as a counterbalance if you have them there. Really feeling the right hamstring and glute. Mine is on fire. Hopefully yours is too. Woo. 3, 2, last one. Beautiful, rising up out of that. We can shake that out. And we're gonna let go of our weight safely to either sides of the mat. Just a breath, just to wash that out. Beautiful, finding our mountain pose, inhaling up to the sky. Exhale, swan dive. Beautiful, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Maybe we hold this fold just for a moment here. Maybe we rock side to side. Beautiful, finding center, rooting down through our feet, rising up to the sky. And exhaling, mountain. Beautiful, you can find a sip of water before we find that on the other side. All right, so starting in our mountain pose, bending our knees, grabbing our weights if we want to use them here. Weights at heart center to start. Rooting to the left foot, right knee towards our chest. And then reaching that right foot to the back of the mat. Whew. Again, finding that lunge and step. Maybe just finding your lunge, or maybe just stepping without the lunge. Beautiful, weights or no weights, whichever is better for you. Inhaling here, exhale, here we go, 10, 9, really rooting into the left foot, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Beautiful, and then reaching that foot back again, hinging forward, finding another set of those wide arm rows. Palms facing back, really squeezing our shoulder blades together, elbows in line with the shoulders. Beautiful. For 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Beautiful, hands at heart center. Bringing that right foot just a little bit more to the left here. Curtsy lunges on this side. Beautiful, we can straighten that left leg to start. Hips are square. I am not stable today. Inhaling here, exhaling down and lift. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Holding it down here, pulsing for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Bringing that right foot to meet the left. Maybe we shake it out to start. Once again, rooting into the left foot, reaching this right foot behind us just a little bit here. Toes just gentle on the mat, hinging forward just a bit. And again, you can just use your weights as a counterbalance, or you can pull into a narrow row while we reach that right leg to the sky. Again, you don't need a lot of movement to engage the glute. Beautiful, for 10. Nice and slow, 9. Trying to find that muscle connection, really feeling the top of the glute here. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Beautiful. Again, we can bring our feet together. I'm gonna shake that out. Rooting into that left foot, reaching the right foot back again, toes just gentle. Again, toes can be a little bit closer out to the right, knee bent, weights in front of the left leg. We can hinge, keeping that left leg straight, spine straight. We can use that variation of a deadlift. We can find our warrior 3 deadlift. Finding 8 of these, whichever variation. Beautiful, hinging forward, 8. Finding some stability here, 7. Weights or no weights. Sometimes it's just easier to have a weight here, just for a counter. Beautiful, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Beautiful. That was not very graceful. Rising up out of that, we're going to bend our knees, letting our weights go to either sides of our mat. Again, we can shake that out. Rinsing that out with a breath. Inhaling up to the sky. Exhale, swan dive. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold rooting down as we rise up to the sky. Exhaling, mountain. Beautiful. Inhaling up. Exhale, swan dive. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold, planting our hands. We're going to reach the left foot to the back of the mat, finding runner's lunge just for a second here, really opening everything up. Maybe this feels really good. And we're going to pivot that left foot on a 90-degree angle, rising up into our warrior 2. If it's available, we're going to grab our weights safely here, bringing them to heart center. And then reaching our arms either side, elbows bent, palms facing out. Beautiful. We're going to pour the wine. Are we ready? We're going to tip the wine down into the glass and then up. Beautiful. 7 more. 6. This almost feels like yoga with wine. 3, 2, last one. Beautiful. Hands at heart center. Left hand by our left hip. Right arm reaches up. Exalt our warrior. We're going to find a tricep extension in this as well. Just going to pivot our hips a little bit to the top left corner of the mat. Then we're going to bend that elbow, hide the weight behind our head, extending up to the sky. Beautiful. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Beautiful. Bringing our hands to heart center, straightening that right leg, pivoting our feet, finding our goddess squat to start. Heel toeing that in or out. And we're just going to find some gentle goddess squats here. So we're going to lower our hips and rise up for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, beautiful. Last one, we're going to hold it down here, pulse down for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. We're going to hold our goddess squat. If it's not available, come out of it at any time. This is where we're going to really use our shoulders here. More than one option. We're going to find an overhead here, a lateral reach, palms facing in, reaching out to the side. If this is too much, you can do one arm at a time, or you can drop your weights. If you drop your weights and you press all your fingers and your thumbs together, you will feel engagement in your hands as well. So finding any variation here, we're going to make this for 8. Rising up, palms facing in and out. Nice and slow. 7, 6. Again, you can just go one at a time, 4 on each side. You can rise up out of your squat as well if that feels better for you. I think we're at 4, probably not. Let's be real. 3. Really working our shoulders here in all directions. 2. Last one. Beautiful. Beautiful. Lowering out of that, hands to heart center. We can rise up, shake that out. We're going to find one more exercise here. So we're going to lower back down before we move. Arms just behind our thighs here. We're going to work our obliques. So just do more of that standing series. So we're not on the ground doing crunches all the time. We're going to reach our right hand down towards our right ankle, rise up, and then the left. Beautiful. Finding 12, 11, really feeling your rib cage close towards your hips here. Beautiful. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Beautiful. Rising up out of that, hands to heart center, pivoting that right foot, finding warrior 2 on the other side. Arms forward and back. And we're going to pour the wine one more time for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Hands to heart center. Right hand by our right hip, left arm extending. We're going to hinge just a little bit to the left top corner or the right top corner of the mat this time. Finding that tricep extension in this one. So hiding the weight, reaching it back up to the sky. Elbow stays as close to our side of our head as possible. Beautiful. 7 more. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Beautiful. Hands to heart center. We're going to straighten our legs, heel toe that into the middle of the mat. And then we're going to make our way to the top of the mat. We can lower our weights down here and then find our mountain pose. Beautiful. Inhaling up to the sky. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold, really letting it go here. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold. We're going to plant our hands. We're going to step back into our plank or our kneeling plank, just holding that for a few breaths. Shoulders over wrists, fingertips spread nice and wide. One last hurrah here. Belly button into spine. Holding for a few more breaths. You can lower to your knees at any time. Beautiful. And then on our next exhale, hinging our hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Again, you can pedal that out if you like. Rock our hips to side to side. Then we're going to lower our knees to our mat, big toes touch, sitting back on our heels, and just surrendering to the mat here for a breath or two in child's pose. Beautiful. We're going to rise up just a little bit out of that. Fingertips cupped on the mat. We're going to thread our right arm in between the left wrist and the left knee, lowering our right shoulder and our right ear to the mat. Left arm can extend up forward, or we can keep our fingertips cupped. Stretching out our shoulders here. That left hand is forward. We're going to bring it back by our face. We're going to rise up in just a gentle child's pose here and find that on the other side. Right fingertips cupped, threading that left arm through this time. Left shoulder and left ear on the mat. We can reach that right arm forward. Fingertips can still be cupped, or we can leave it closer to our face. Beautiful. Bringing that right hand by our face, rising up out of that, making our way into our tabletop position here. Spine nice and tall. And then as we exhale, tailbone lifts, belly lowers, heart shining forward. And then rounding to our cat. Beautiful. Flowing through our cat and cow just for a few breaths here. One more time through. Finding that neutral spine, we're going to reach our right foot to the back of the mat. And then as we exhale, round in, bringing that right foot between our hands. Rising up into our low lunge here. Arms can stay at heart center. They can go all the way up. Maybe they just stay on our leg. Opening that up. Maybe we give it a little bit of a pulse, really opening up our hip flexor. Beautiful. Exhale, folding forward, walking our hands back, straightening that right leg again, finding our half split here. We can round in if we want, or maybe our spine stays straight. Beautiful. Walking that forward, planting our hands, right knee meets left, finding tabletop. Exhaling the left leg back to the back of the mat. Rounding in as we bring that foot in between our hands, hand to heel if we get stuck. Rising up here. Again, finding any arm variation. Maybe we find a little bit of a pulse. Opening up the fascia here. Folding forward, walking our hands back, straightening the left leg, half split on this side, rounding in if we want. Spine can stay straight. Beautiful, walking our hands back forward, left knee meets right, tabletop. Walking our hands forward a couple inches, tucking our toes, lifting our hips up and back. Downward facing dog. And then bending our knees, walking our feet to the top of the mat. Once more, finding that forward fold. Hanging out here for a few breaths, rocking side to side. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, rooting down, rising up to the sky. Exhaling. Mountain. Beautiful. Inhaling up to the sky. Exhale, twisting open to the left. Left arm circles down, reaching up and twisting to the right. Right arm circling around, reaching up to the sky. Exhaling into that cactus back bend here if that feels good. Beautiful. Inhaling up to the sky and exhaling down through heart center. Beautiful. Inhaling up to the sky, nice and slow, gathering in all that beautiful energy. And exhaling down through heart center. One more time. Inhaling up nice and slow. And exhaling down through heart center. Thank you so much for joining me virtually again this week. Hopefully we will be in person very soon. The love and the light in me truly sees and honors the love and the light in each of you. Namaste.
Thanks, Laura.
Thanks so much, Laura. Have a great weekend.